I moved here in 1991, so I've been in this community about 32 years.
Okay. So why decide to run for supervisor?
That was something I've been watching, local politics over the last several years in particular. I've watched it always, but I've become very concerned with the direction of our local politics and some of the instability that I'm seeing with county departments and the county government. I'm seeing issues in our community that aren't being addressed, and I considered my background, my platform in law enforcement with my education and my experiences. I've been on the school board here at Grant for about 5 years now. So I put that all together and I said, I do actually have some knowledge in the areas that can help this county. So I decided to step up and see if I can enact some change and change the direction of things a little bit.
Well, you were talking about the direction. What direction would you like to see? What is the ideal Shasta County?
Ideal Shasta County. I believe that a stable county government working for local issues that are within the jurisdiction of the county, not national issues and various other things, are important. And I think we've gotten distracted from that over the past few years. I've seen a lot of outside money come in from people that are not connected to our community, and that appears to me to be influencing the candidates in elections and things in some of the direction that we're going. I've seen the board interactions with the public have become very contentious. There's, my opinion, kind of a lack of decorum and civility that has kind of come about in the last couple of years. And I realize we came out of a pandemic, so maybe some of that was due to that. But it's a situation where we've had high turnover in our department heads, and I'm just trying to think about how we can restore some stability and civility to that, because if I look at some of the issues that are my highest platform for office, you can't achieve those without a stable governance. And I think that would be my first thing, would be to try to stabilize things, calm things down, get rid of all the outside influences if we can, and have a board that is working strictly for the issues of the people. And while trying to maintain a very stable county governance with less department head turnover, things like that. Once that is stabilized, then there would be part two, which I'm concerned, and I've been concerned for some time, about the issues of crime in our community and homelessness and drug addiction, mental health issues. Those are all, it's a tough nut to crack. I mean, those are big issues we could talk for probably hours on. But I do believe that because of some of the laws that have changed in our state, AB 109 being one of them, we're now housing what used to be prison populations, and that has made lack of available bed space in our jails in a crisis mode, in my opinion. And so I support Sheriff Johnson's effort to build a new facility which has adequate jail space, and that will be one of my highest priorities. And trying to counteract and deal with the crime in our community. And along with that, in his proposal, he and DA Stephanie Bridget have worked on, there's a mental health component to it, a drug addiction component to the facility, and so I'm all in favor of that, trying to figure out how we can best deal with the issues of crime in the community, hold people accountable. Let's build the space to keep people where they need to be, and then we can triage as they get into the system and try to figure out what issues are generated through mental health or drug addiction, and start with sometimes diversion programs work for some of those things, but you have the suspended criminal portion of it still going forward. And so that gives you a little bit of leverage to then start to enact some of your plug-in programs to get them into some of the help they need, so that we can hopefully turn that around for them and for our community. But in the meantime, you're holding people accountable for criminal actions. I think we're all affected by it right now, and I think we are all desperate to have a measure taken toward stopping some of this.
The jail, would you see it, as has been discussed and planned, to to build again downtown, or are you talking about the facility that Sheriff Johnson suggested out off of, out east of Reading?
Sure, sure. No, I'm talking about the one Sheriff Johnson is. That's my ultimate goal, is to get that facility built. And obviously, county budgets are tight, so I think it comes down to priorities with our spending patterns and money. And there's things that I feel that have been done recently in the last couple of years here, voting machine conspiracies and things like that that I don't buy into. And so I think we're spending a lot of money on some of those things and some pet projects, money that could be used for the needs of our citizens here in the community, and trying to make a dent and start looking for ways. And that will be my overriding goal if I'm elected, will be to relentlessly pursue a funding source for our new facility.
So crime prevention, law enforcement, clearly a priority. What other priorities are on your list of things to tackle? Well,
the first priority is to stabilize our governance and to bring back civility, decorum, and transparency. In my role as a board member at the Grant School District, I think I'm known as being very cautious with the budgets and being very careful with those kinds of things. And I believe all taxpayers have a right to know how their money is being spent and what it's being spent for. And I think that should line up with the priorities of the electorate. So stabilizing the government's my first and foremost position, trying to get that turned around. Then I will pursue the law enforcement and some of the issues we're having in our community with homelessness and drug addiction. That's going to be a big task. And other things that would be priorities for me would be economic development. So I believe that if we're creative and we bring the right people here, we can re-energize our community. And I see a lot of good things happening right now, and I would be very much in favor of continuing on those lines. And I want the jobs for people, good jobs, high-paying jobs, and so that would probably be enough to fill the plate for a while.
So, name recognition. How do you get your name out there? What are you planning on doing to let people know who you are?
Well, this is part of it. I've got a very good team, campaign team right now, and so we are creating social media to get the name out. We are starting, and I know we're up against the clock here a bit because the primaries in March, early March, and the mail-out ballots go out a little bit before that. So we're working on getting that, and so neighborhood canvassing. I've started that with my wife, and that has been really rejuvenating, actually, and a lot of positive feedback from people that are very concerned with what's going on right now, and they want to see change. So that energizes me when I'm walking door to door, and so I intend to, and my primary goal is to meet every voter, and I know that's a challenge, but I want every voter to be able to decide, because the voters are ultimately who decide collectively who is going to lead this county forward. And I believe we're at a crossroads here, and I think the next, this next coming election is critical for the future of our county. And I believe strongly that the voters need to turn out en masse and voice their opinion about what they want from their leadership.
So the incident, explain it. It's social media, I know, don't believe everything or hardly anything that you read on social media.
Right, sure.
But there are rumors, things posted out there about how you left the police department and an incident that happened. What's the real story there?
Real story is that I left the police department under a standard retirement. So there was no firing, there was no nothing. That is all rumor. Those are lies. I had an incident when we were building our house in which I was the victim of some aggressive people that had been basically tearing our house down over a long time and slashing walls, kicking doors, things like that. I ended up in an encounter with them one night. I detained them until the sheriff's department could arrive, and the kids were arrested. They were criminally charged, convicted. Civil restitution was made to me and my family, and the district attorney's office reviewed the case and said not only were the actions completely legally justifiable, but they were the preferable course of action because nobody got hurt. Nobody got hurt. So that's the incident. I was a victim of a pretty significant crime, and
End of story.
End of story. My law enforcement experience and training took over completely, and we resolved it as cops tend to do, trying to de-escalate and trying to get this thing resolved with nobody getting hurt, which is exactly what happened.
Anything else you would like to say?
No, it was not a pleasant experience.
I'm just mean about anything.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the incident.
No,
Okay, no. Well, I would like to, like you spoke about name recognition, I would love to have people get to know me. So my phone is always available. Call me with things you want to talk about, and I would love to hear your concerns. I believe in transparency and an open phone, if you will, so that I can know the issues of people, so that I could represent those someday, and so we can be part of the team that problem solves, because that is really important to me, to use common sense, good judgment, and problem solving ability to turn some things around.
So if a voter wants to contact you, what's the best way, or the number, or?
Well, I would recommend that everybody go to my website, which is Allen, and the spelling is ALLENLONG 4 FOR Supervisor 2024.com. And that can link up to Facebook, and you can follow the endorsements and the campaign itself, and see where I stand on all the issues. And if you have questions, reach out to me. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mike.